Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Monday, December 1st, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Well, the truth is, right before we started, two cards flew out of the deck. That's the type of energy we're dealing with today. Okay. So can I get the second card in our 5-card spread? We've also got the strength card. So the one thing I want to describe right now, the best way I can describe coming out of this retrograde is hurry up and wait energy. It's hurry up and wait energy. That's what we've been experiencing leading into this like the energetic cycle, or what we're experiencing right now. Because the thing you have to understand, and I was kind of talking about this, I was talking about this in our last podcast, but the directionality, the directionality of Saturn coming out of retrograde before Mercury can sometimes, like, I want to describe it as like the working through of energetic, like it's sometimes the feeling or frustration in working towards doing something in a way by which it feels very, very arduous or very, very heavy. And so a lot of the work that we often see or experience in relationality to doing work like that effectively, the best way I can describe it is it requires us to effectively have to navigate situations with a sense of steadfastness. It's like requiring us to effectively kind of work through something in such a way that we feel energetically fortified by it. Now, the hard part about this is the energy itself, like the energy we're experiencing right now, feels discombobulated. It can feel very confusing. It can often feel like, and I want to describe this as the modality or the experience by which you have to put a lot of force on something, and then suddenly like it moves very easily. It requires, the best way I can describe it is it's working through, and I kind of remember how I was saying it was feeling kind of Sisyphusian, right? Like it was working through a lot of that space by which something feels very hard to like move to something. Often it can create a lot of that energetic expediency in relationality to rushing through things. So if you're feeling like that right now, I actually want you like focusing on your lists. I don't want you rushing today. I don't want you rushing through things. And I know that there's an inclination to feel the need to do so, because I just keep on getting like kind of moving, like navigating through the feeling of energetic rush with a sense, I keep on hearing navigating through the sense of an energetic rush with a feeling of proportionality is effectively how we kind of work through energy like this. Because the one thing I keep on seeing right now is it's like the fact that this retrograde season is easing up, but it's the order, it's like the order that the planets are coming out of the retrograde. There's a messiness to it. Okay, it's not, it's like ta-da, it's a lot of that type of discombobulated energy. Don't over internalize on it. Don't over internalize on it, because the thing about it I keep on seeing too, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that we recognize that, you know, when we're looking right now, like the fact that we see that Venus is also transiting right now into Sagittarius, you know, it can sometimes create the frustration in terms, like it kind of create the frustration in terms of like what we energetically idealize, right? Like what we see within the self or in the context of the self versus what energetically appears before us. So just, I keep on hearing like, make sure that you're giving yourself a lot of compassion right now in the space of a lot of these energetic processes. Now, we are going to move towards center card for today's spread to kind of read in terms of how this is impacting the energetic frequency cycles. We've got the Page of Wands. We've got the Page of Wands, it's upright. And the thing we keep on seeing with the Page of Wands in its upright, and the best way I can describe this is Page of Wands in its upright speaks to situations or circumstances by which we identify and recognize, and there's a lot of inner child that I see that healing that is happening right now. For a lot of the energy, particularly these moon relationships that we see that have been coming together right now, a lot of that work is like, and I feel like this is what's beautiful about those relationships. Like the work that we see that is being navigated in those experiences is the work of effectively identifying and recognizing or feeling that energetic stabilization point in being able to kind of like grow and learn together. There's something really beautiful about that. Like, this is what I told you, like these two cards, like look at these two cards together. This is the nature of those relationships. And what's beautiful about it is, and I kind of like this, and I want to stress this as well. This is literally this is the encapsulation point, right? Like, this is effectively the encapsulation point of the readings that we gave in our recent reading in relationality to masculine, feminine, and non-binary energy, right? Because we see here that this is effectively energy, non-binary energy, articulating upon the fact that they don't want to be, they're not responsible for doing other people's shadow work, right? The identification point of understanding that the ability for us to kind of understand and know ourselves is the best way that we can kind of come towards partnership. For masculine, this is the combination of the effort of the inner child healing that's happening right now. That is the ability to effectively recognize that vulnerability is a gift, as when we identify it as something that we give to one another preciously. And for a lot of the feminine energy, this is a lot of the feminine energy coming into those modalities or those experiences by which they're like identifying and articulating upon building into the heart of pragmatism, which is the space of working through the frustration of understanding that when we're trying to work, like when I feel like, and this is what I meant. And this is like, I have to stress this right now. These moon relationships that we are seeing, like the thing I keep on identifying, and for our purposes, remembering that the moon relationships were effectively coming together between the time of Uranus going retrograde up until the present. This is why they've taken so long to come together. There's been a lot of that work here, because for a lot of these relationships, I just keep on seeing that those experiences or those circumstances by which the energy recognizes what it means to effectively do something and work upon something with like productivity. Like, I keep on hearing that these are productive partnerships, and the productivity that we see that are happening in these relationships has to do, and I like this, like they are the energies that like they don't need, like I keep on hearing they recognize each other's phases. Right? And this is why they're moon relationships, because it's the conversation of understanding, right? I keep on getting, they're doing the work not to effectively project their feelings on one another, but to be able to articulate upon the state that they find one another in, right? So there's a lot of considerate energy there. They're considerate. I would go so far as to say that they're elegant to each other's emotions. And I keep on getting the reason it's not even, I keep on hearing it's not just the fact that they're emotionally intelligent, they're emotionally elegant is what I keep on seeing. And the reason I keep on getting the fact that they're emotionally elegant is because I keep on getting that they work towards the space by which they can articulate upon how they find one another instead of projecting that upon one another. Now, for the temperance relationships, and remembering that, and I'm going to tell you right now, with some of these, like some of these relationships that we're seeing right now, like that ability to be able to articulate it, like the ability to be, and this is why, like, again, understanding like the gift of knowing the self is one of the best gifts we can bring to partnership effectively, because I keep on seeing that they care about each other because they don't feel like they need to take a magnifying glass to each other, right? They don't need to they don't need to try to figure out what's going on in relationality to emotions. They just communicate it and they don't project it upon one another. Now, continuing the fourth and fifth cards, right? And I keep on getting, and this is what I meant about like the culmination of a lot of that energy, like coming together during these Gemini cycles, like, or the Gemini full moon that we've got to coming right now, like the space by which they say like how simple it can be when we see ourselves, when we navigate with someone who also sees themselves as clearly. Continuing to get clarification between our fourth and fifth cards and our 5 card spread right now for these temperance relationships. Woo, that 2 of Cups, man. That 2 of Cups. I'm not surprised if you've been seeing a lot of 2 of Cups energy right now too. Like, the one thing I need to point out, and I like. Listen, I'll tell you this much. You know what? When we got a Gemini, when we've got a Gemini full moon happening, in Sagittarius season, I am very happy to see the 2 of Cups just popping out of the deck all of the time. Like, those 2 of Cups. That is delightful. That is delightful to be able to see. We've got the 2 of Cups and the Temperance. Yeah. This is Gemini full. This is right here. You want to see? This is the Gemini full moon in Sagittarius season. You see that? Gemini full moon in Sagittarius season. Why do we see that here? Because it's the observation, and I keep on getting temperance relationships right now, which are those relationships that were coming together between the time of Uranus stationing retrograde up until the solstice period over the summer. It's a lot of, I feel like there's something, oh man, I'm gonna put it this way. Okay, the best way I can describe this is I keep on getting the past, when we've healed from the past. We look to the past, and I keep on getting, we look to the past with a sense of audacity. And and I need to point this out. Like, why do we articulate what is audacity? Right? We're going to have like a quick little thing about this before we continue, because I feel like the thing about some of the temperance relationship is they're discovering the audacity. But it's like, remember how I articulated the modality by which we understand and we recognize and we work through the energetic changes of the self, right? It doesn't create the space by which we understand that we are not perfect, but that we are ever learning, is the modality and the experience by which we often, and this is what we talk about, like, like the space by which we are able to effectively accommodate for the fact that we've changed. I keep on getting, the change is the point, right? A healthy energetic journey is one that is often demarcated by transformational processes, right? And this is why we talk about the fact that when we're in the healthy space, we welcome the arrival of understanding in ourselves. And sometimes, like I keep on hearing, like sometimes in those experiences, and this is what we talk about with inner child healing too, we hold that past version of self preciously, right? Like, just like you wouldn't get mad at a child, right? If you don't get mad at a child for not knowing something about the self, so too do we not get mad at ourselves as we continue through our own energetic learning cycles. And so, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised in those modalities or those experiences by which you're navigating another person's energetic rigidness, right? And it's sometimes like we've all had those experiences, like you work through something and you feel energetically painful. Like you work through those experiences by which another person's, like I keep on getting, like the rigidness of the past sometimes feels like that inability. I keep on hearing like the inexplicable frustration. And this is why we talk about not harboring upon things, because when we harbor upon things, we become energetically rigid upon them. And when we become energetically rigid upon them, it doesn't, and it's not the fact that we have to let everything go, but we understand the things that we hold on to, right? We're not being rigid. Like, you're not being rigid on something if you know, if you're holding on to something for a reason, right? Like, it's like, why are you holding on to that? Well, let me tell you, right? It's the ability by which we can, it's the ability by which we can articulate and identify that point of energetic meaning. And so, and often, and this is what we talk about, because I know it's really difficult to understand the difference between, and I like to, we talked, like we were talking a bit about this the other day, which is, it's hard because when we have not healed from trauma effectively, we will hold the trauma, like sometimes our trauma likes to masquerade as a standard, right? And the standard that we hold, and this is why we're always able to talk about why we hold the standards that we hold, because the way for us to be able to identify this is a standard, well, why is it a standard? Well, this is why. The ability to articulate upon why it's an energetic standard. It clarifies the ability to see what is a standard versus what feels like it's energetic trauma masquerading as a standard. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, kind of working through that context, that feeling, potentially navigating, right? And this is how we effectively build into discernment on healing that is actually healing versus trauma that often masquerades as healing, but really it feels indulgent to us not healing, is the ability to articulate what we're energetically holding on to and why we are holding on to it. So if we see that for a lot of the energy right now, that is the energy that feels the frustration, because if they're doing that work, right? If they're understanding and recognizing and building into the context of being able to work through something energetically effectively, and at the same time, they're working towards, like, even in the space by which they're potentially feeling rigor or frustration upon the past, they're doing, what did you see though? Like a lot of that temperance energy has been doing right now. They've been working really hard to kind of resolve that, right? They've been resolving that within the self by sanctifying the relationship, by putting a lot of that frustration and channeling it into the gift of the present. Then often in those experiences or those modalities by which you navigate something that feels frustrating, right? The ability to identify what feels productive is the ability to identify the cause or the point of something. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, those type of conversations, right? Potentially working through, like I keep on getting like working through energy, like working through situations by which they feel the weight of other people not navigating. And that's often what happens, right? The force or the space of another's projections, like working through a lot of that energetic density, but then also kind of building into what feels productive and healthy, like working towards a lot of those stabilizing constructs. I just keep on getting, like the word I keep on hearing is constructive conversations in relationality to effectively what feels energetically stable. And so for a lot of the energy doing that work, I feel like the hard part is potentially, not allowing oneself to be frustrated in the face of another's frustration, but almost like I keep on hearing like navigating forward in a productive conversation. So it's interesting because like, it's the gift, they're giving each other the gift of speaking to each other of situations of that nature. Now let's get back to the energy that's deep within divine union. And these are specifically those magician relationships. And as we've discussed, our magician, we always talk into the energy that most recently entered into divine union. And these magician partnerships were coming into relationship between the time of the solstice period up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. They were focusing upon the authenticity of the self that builds into clarifying relationship. Temperance partnerships were building upon the mutual effort that pays off in incredible ways. Clarification between our Ace of Cups, the World card in its reversal, and our Page of Wands energy. We've got here the Hierophant in its reversal. And so the thing that we keep on seeing, the thing with the Hierophant in its reversal is, and the The thing I'm kind of seeing right now for a lot of these magician relationships has to do with, I keep on seeing like it has to do with energetically putting up with things. And the reason I keep on getting putting up with things is, and what does it mean? I keep on getting, what does it mean when we're putting up with things? Because this is often like everything I keep on seeing in relationality to a healing journey. And and I feel like they're going through this same work. And I know that this feels like we've spoken about this before, but, and as soon as I started reading for them, like my throat chakra started feeling like tightened, but it's the space by which I keep on hearing not everything needs to be a conversation. And I know that's going to sound a little bit bizarre, but let me walk you through why. Because there's the conversation, and here's the thing about it. Conversation conversation isn't getting something done, right? It's like the space by which the more you conversate upon something, the less things happen, is what I keep on seeing. And so I feel like there's something important about that, because I feel like that's the conversation that they're having to one another in relationality to, I keep on hearing the conversation that feels like it's energetically productive, right? The conversation that leads towards a positive energetic direction, versus I keep on getting like the conversations that often feel energetically cyclical, is what I keep on seeing, right? And here's the thing about it, like the space, like I keep on seeing that there's something about the magician relationships trying to avoid cyclical conversations. And why? Because cyclical conversations can sometimes make us feel like, it's like I keep on seeing, it's like it's exhausting, right? It doesn't feel like it goes anywhere. And I would almost be interested for a lot of those relationships in working through, like I keep on hearing, remember how I said that a lot of those relationships were going through or navigating, they were navigating through, navigating through, how do I describe this best? They were navigating through situations outside of partnership. They were they were an issue based on the fact that they were centering into relationship, right? And so often the space, and I keep on hearing like the ability to have a conversation and another person to get to the point in terms of what's bothering them is usually a good identification in terms of working through something that irritates, right? Somebody energetically irritating that can often point the direction back towards the self, right? And so that's why I keep on seeing, I told you, like they're working through composure, because they're continuing to inhabit that space by which they say that they're available, like they're energetically available to have a productive conversation, but they're not going to create the space by which they force an unhealthy, you can't force a healthy conversation because it becomes an unhealthy confrontation. But then, like, again, almost potentially, I feel like some of this energy is like working through, I keep on hearing like another person's irritability, but understanding, and I keep on hearing irritability is often indicative, right? Irritability is often indicative. Like irritability doesn't go anywhere because like irritability can often speak upon the fact that something's energetically bothering the self, but one does not necessarily want to articulate upon the reasons why. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of that, like a lot of those conversations or relationships, like they're supporting each other through that. And they're continuing, I keep on hearing like they're continuing to try to energetically scrutinize situations, but also like I keep on hearing like the observation of effectively not being able to identify or determine the cause of another person's energetic irritability can often be those determination points or those recognition points as it relates to what it is we're trying to do more effectively. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of, and I keep wondering, it's not happening inside. It's not happening inside of those relationships. It's like them effectively trying to navigate or work through situations outside of partnership, continuing to get clarification between our Page of Wands in its upright and our Strength card in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with the Ten of Swords in its upright. Let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about this Ten of Swords energy, because the Ten of Swords energy that we're effectively seeing here, I keep on getting the Ten of Swords energy for the moon relationships that we spoke about. It's a continuation of understanding. And I just keep on getting the same message. I feel like for some of these moon relationships right now, something from the past feels like it's coming back, right? And I want to kind of talk about this here, because the thing about it that I'm seeing, has to do, I just keep on getting this. It has to do with, how do I describe this best? That modality or that experience by which I keep on, remember how I said that those relationships were healing from pedestalization in partnership? Remember how I was saying that some of those relationships were healing from a space by which every, like, another person, and usually the way you can tell, if there's pedestalization that's happening in partnership, is the space by which another person either like sings your praises or they never want to energetically see you again, right? It's either like here or there, like it's working through that type of energetic volatility. One of the things that we're effectively identifying there has to do, like I keep on getting, and again, for a lot of the energy working through those experiences, I just keep on seeing that the thing that's energetically frustrating is, like, I keep on hearing, especially if these are experiences, and I keep on hearing, like, this is why we don't walk away from things, you know? Like, I keep on hearing, relationships don't have separations. They have recess, is what I keep on getting. And remember how I said that even articulating, like, I don't feel comfortable describing the energy in separation right now with the word separation. It feels more like energy in solitude, because I feel like they're almost talking to each other about relationships that they were in where they felt energetically separated. And why do we often, what are the circumstances by which we can be in relationship and feel separation? We can be in relationship and feel separation when we don't feel safe within the relationship, right? It's not enough to be in relationship. No, this is why we talk about here that no two relationships are alike, right? It's not enough. Like, it doesn't matter. You can say that you're in a relationship, but if you don't feel safe within a relationship, you're effectively energetically in separation. So that ability of effectively working towards, like, and I feel like what's beautiful about this is a lot of the energy that is in solitude, that's working upon, like, they've been finding their feeling of energetic safety. And that's why I keep on seeing, like, if this is a situation or circumstance by which someone moved away from them, right? Someone moved away from them and then comes back towards them and says, like, I see the energy being like, almost like I keep on hearing, like, and that's what I meant in relationality to what can sometimes happen in the energy that we've been seeing like over the last few days, right? Because the thing I kept on describing, like, what was I effectively saying that could sometimes happen with Saturn going direct in Pisces. Saturn going direct in Pisces can sometimes feel like akin to an overload of feeling, right? It's the modality, it's working through the understanding that telling somebody how you feel doesn't heal anything, right? Like often the modality, you can't go towards a situation that isn't working and just say, this is how I feel, because feelings don't fix things. Feelings don't heal things. And often, but those who don't do their shadow work effectively will often be under the misconception that another person is waiting for them to talk about their feelings. But the thing they're waiting on is not waiting for them to admit their energetic feelings. Because usually, here's the thing about it, when somebody's so volatile that they can't articulate their feelings, everybody around them typically knows what they are. It's like well, while one person is going around, like one person is going around being like, do I tell him? Do I not? Do I tell him? Do I not? Everybody knows, right? Like everybody knows, because it's not the space. It's like, and this is what we can expect, right? Like this is what we can energetically expect when we've got Venus passing out of Scorpio into Sagittarius, which is like the fact that someone's like, it's the this, you know what I mean? It's like when somebody's like, it's like when something is going like, when the, like that somebody like going back and forth is like the Richter scale going off in one's own emotions. And this is what often happens. Like we'll get these experiences where another person is not emotionally intelligent enough and their Richter scale is going like this, and they're in this space by going, do I tell them how I feel? And it's like the person knows, because it's the fact that the Richter scale is going like this. So it's like, it's working through that space by which often when another person finally comes towards and says, this is how I feel, being like, yeah, obviously, but it's not the feelings. The articulation of feelings is only half the work, right? I know that's hard. The first part of a healthy relationship is being able to articulate upon how you feel. The other space is to create a context by which another sees the fact that you can navigate your emotions effectively, that they feel safe for you to have them, right? This is what's hard. Like this is what's painful in relationality, to like, this is why we have to work more towards emotional intelligence, because all we do, right, when we create that space where we say like, okay, you've got those feelings, you should tamp them down, right? Then that usually means that when we finally meet the person that means everything to us, we ruin it, because we're not ready to navigate all of the feelings, like all of the feelings that open up in the wake of experiencing it, right? It's not enough to just articulate upon the fact that you have feelings. The way that we express our love is how we carry our own feelings, right? It's the honor that we carry our feelings with. And that's what true stoicism is, right? It's not to say, look how strong I am. It's to say, look how strong I am in the modality by which we find stability, even through the flux of a lot of energetic emotions. So I feel like it's difficult there, because I feel like for a lot of the energy working through that, there could be I feel like there's some energy right now in separation or energy in solitude, that where another person is trying to heal something by articulating upon the fact that they have feelings, and another person is saying to another person, you're supposed to, right? Like that's what happens. Like the modality by which another person says I have feelings, be like, yeah, that's not the healing point. That's where things are supposed to begin, right? The admission of energetic emotions should never be the articulation of allowing the context by which like that shouldn't be the nature by which a relationship can be healed. That should be the condition that it should exist within all the time. Like it's a space, should be in that space. Like that should just be the consistent point, right? The admission of feelings should be the consistency. Like that's the expression of energetic love. So I feel like there's a lot of the conversation that I see in these relationships, potentially not only in being able to articulate that to one another, but also potentially articulating or experiencing, talking about situations in the past wherein they weren't able to experience that, or they were having to navigate another person's energetic volatility. And I keep on seeing I keep on getting like the volatility that we experience. Like I keep on hearing like, and I think it's interesting because I don't know why I'm picking up on this right now, but for some of these moon relationships, I keep on seeing they're almost saying to each other that they're volatile in the best way possible because, and this brings us to the temperance relationships, strength card with the 2 of Cups and it's upright. Yeah, like seven of Pentacles in its reversal, right? The volatility that feels like it's energetically productive is often articulated in our audacity, right? That's what audacity is. Being able to recognize audacity is being volatile in the best way possible, because it's seeing something or working through something that feels like it's energetically frustrating, right? It bothers us to effectively observe it. So that ability of doing so, right? I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, right? Like I keep on seeing like it's, and I like this with those temperance relationships, because those temperance relationships effectively amplify and articulate upon, I keep on getting the volatility that allows for the context by which one is able to effectively identify and articulate what one is trying to do more effectively, right? It's like I keep on seeing love energetically, like it's like love allows us to stamp our feet. Because when we stamp our feet and we're in the space of love, like it's that feeling by which we feel that expression of frustration that's energetically shared. And so I feel like for a lot of the energy doing that work, I keep on hearing, and what's beautiful about this is, and I like this too, because remember how I said that the energy right now isn't necessarily always in the best, like all the energy right now is not necessarily in harmony. I said like it's kind of like this type of energy where like I would be very surprised if you navigate through these retrograde cycles completely unscathed as it relates to one's own feeling of energetic volatility. But I keep on hearing like even in the space by which they have those moments, right? I can almost see the identification point of them articulating to each other how far they've come, because it's a conversation that says that often our healing does not happen like the snap of our fingers, right? It's not like one day we're fine and then like one day we're perfect and one day we're not. We shorten the distance, right? It's the shortening the distance in terms of something effectively feeling like it's energetically bothering us, right? The difference between a week to a moment, right? The difference between an hour to a minute, like that is often the amplification of what we identify as adeptitude, right? And so often I told you this type of energy can make us really hard or get really hard on ourselves in relationality to charting our own progress. It can be hard to see it. And so what is the gift? Like, what is the gift that the temperance relationships are giving to each other? They're acting as clear mirrors, right? They're giving each other a sense of proportionality by articulating to them the fact that they see them and each other clearing that energetic distance between how they feel versus where they find themselves. This brings us to a lot of those energies that are deep within divine union right now, those magician relationships, clarification between our Two of Cups and the temperance energy and its reversal. One card to clarify, please. We got the Queen of Pentacles in its reversal. So let's talk a little bit about this Queen of Pentacles energy and its reversal, because the thing I keep on seeing right now for the energy deep within divine union, I gotta stress this. Like, I wish I could like give a hug to all these magician relationships that are going through this right now, because like, I feel like I literally see a situation. Like I can see this energy going towards other logically minded energy and being like, can I please walk you through something? Right? Can I like walk you through? Like I see somebody like holding the bridge of their nose, like trying to like be like, and why? Because they can tell they're healing. You know how you can usually tell you're healing? Because you walk through something with another person and go, am I missing something? Right? Is it me? It's the energy. I told you this is exactly what we'd experience with like Scorpio into Sag. Is it me? Am I it's like it's a lot of that, right? But that's often how we fortify upon the fact that it's not, right? It's like it's a lot of the energy that's almost saying, like it's a lot of the energy saying to each other, like, give it to me straight. Like I see this energy being like, please tell me. Like it's like the energy almost like begging one another and saying, if it's me, please tell me. And the energy is effectively saying to them, I wish I could tell you it was, because I know that you're so effective that you could energetically fix it within yourself. Like that's the type of energy that we see right now navigating through, right? Because I told you the magician relationships, they try to be authentic with the self. So they're literally talking to counterpart. And I keep wondering, they're talking to counterpart and anybody they feel is logic minded upon something that they're navigating that feels energetically ridiculous. And what are they saying? They're saying, give it to me straight, right? It's the energy that's almost saying to those around them, give it to me straight, articulate, tell me. It's like the energy that's saying, tell me, and the energy saying, I can't do that, right? Like that is almost the energy that's like working through something, because I keep on hearing they're going through a warrior lesson, and I keep on getting warrior lessons are difficult, because I keep on seeing for a lot of that energy kind of working through something in terms of saying like, look, and this is often why we talk about like those who are deeply empathetic often have to hold strong boundaries, because sometimes it's easier, right? It's sometimes when we're in the space of healing, we would far more prefer to find something that we ourselves can fix within us, right? Because that's a space by which we like get to work, right? Put your hard hat on. Like you can go into yourself and work on something. But like a lot of the space by which we navigate or work through another person's emotions can sometimes feel really upsetting, because it's a modality of experience. And I feel like this energy is almost like navigating those pathworks or those modalities by which they're articulating to one another and speaking upon one another and stating the fact that they're saying like, look, like I feel like they're giving each other the support and saying sometimes we experience circumstances outside of the self that are not energetically, that do not feel in alignment to us. And it's hard. And we can usually identify what those are, because we can usually say to someone in that experience, what would you prefer? Right? And in the modality by which they articulate upon the energetic preference, we're able to identify and recognize like the shape of what it is that we're trying to do more effectively. So I keep on seeing that for like a lot of the energy doing that work, it's frustrating, right? But they're finding that energetic conviction to be able to articulate and define how much something means to them, right? Continuing to get clarification between our Hierophant in its reversal in combination with our Ten of Swords and its upright. One card to clarify. We've got the Knight of Wands in its reversal. And so the Knight of Wands in its upright, I mean, not in its reversal, in its upright, but it's interesting. It's interesting that I said reversal. Remember when I said this type of energy can make us feel very discombobulated? This type of energy can often create those, I keep wondering, this type of energy can often create those energetic experiences by which I keep wondering, those energetic experiences by which we work through something. And even in the space by which we work through something, I keep on getting our own ability to, I keep on getting our own ability to communicate, or our own ability to, like talk towards how we feel. Like this is often what we talk about in relationality to often feeling like often feeling those experiences that even when we try to do something the right way possible, when another person is energetically trying to project upon us, there it doesn't allow, like the way we can usually recognize the space by which we're like working through something that doesn't feel energetically supportive is the space by which we feel the modality that nothing that we do correctly feels energetically right, is what I keep on getting. And so I told you that there's something really powerful that's happening in these magician relationships, because they're giving each other the gift of understanding that we like, if you want to find, I keep on hearing, if you want to find perfection, right? You work through frustration, right? And I keep on saying it's not the fact that they don't energetically frustrate each other, But I keep on hearing it's the same. I keep on hearing like this has been coming through a lot. And it feels, because I feel like there's something about these relationships and navigating Cancerian lessons. And this is often a journey of those with Cancerian placements have to go through, right? Like the ability to feel vulnerable can sometimes create that modality by which we want to close up, right? We have those experiences. We can't help it. It's instinctual, right? We feel vulnerable, we feel wounded. Our first instinct is to close up. And Sagittarians do that too. But the ability, like Sages and Cancerian energy work through this a lot. The ability to close the distance between the initial reactivity point and feeling energetically vulnerable and coming back out of it, right? Like the ability to kind of move back into proportionality, like it effectively, it helps us. Like, and you'll notice that those with Sagittarian and Cancerian placements often have relationships that start to improve, the like deepening into their own experience, because the ability of recognizing one's own tendencies, that when we pull away from things we accidentally wound others, right? Like the modality by which we pull away, right? We pull away because we don't feel energetically safe, and we often sometimes wound others in the process. So that ability of kind of recognizing and identifying, I keep on seeing that this is why these relationships are, I kept on hearing like they've got emotional elegance is what I keep on getting. And the reason I keep on seeing that they have emotional elegance is it's not just the fact that they're intelligent upon it's not just the fact that they're intelligent upon their emotions. They don't just work to understand them, but they work, I keep on hearing, they work to recognize and identify, like they understand that often in the modality by which we're feeling something, when we feel something, right, we sometimes, when we overfeel something, it doesn't allow the energetic empathy in terms of how another person can potentially be experiencing it. So I keep on getting that there's a deep attenuation that I'm discovering as I read into these relationships, because I keep on hearing they're noticing their own energetic tendencies, right? That when we go into solitude, another person potentially experiences that as separation, right? I'm going to say that again. When we need solitude, another person potentially experiences that as separation. And so that ability of effectively being able to articulate, right? What are they getting better at? They're getting better at articulating upon their needs so that they can be energetically met, right? It's okay to have needs. It doesn't require you to abandon your needs, but the ability of being able to articulate a need also has an endpoint on when the need will no longer need to be energetically delivered. And that's what's hard. Like that's often what's hard with solitude, which is why we never say to someone, I need some time, because that can sound that sounds awful to another person, right? To say to someone, I need some time, right? But without a point in relationality to what that time is, a definable time, the ability to effectively define time for one another, like helps us build into the context of what it is that we're trying to energetically do. So I feel like there's something, I feel like there's something really important and fundamental about that, because everything I keep on seeing in relationality to working through experiences like that, I feel like they're it's interesting, because they, like when I said that some of the energy right now is talking about the limitations of talking, I hear this energy saying it's good to talk about it, continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Wands and its upright and our 7 of Pentacles and its reversal. We've got the King of Swords in its reversal. And I think that it's interesting because for those temperance relationships, speaking towards things right now, I feel like it's interesting. I feel like there's something that's potentially bothering. I keep on hearing, I feel like there's something that's potentially bothering the energy right now, those temperance relationships. But what I'm effectively identifying is I feel like it says to me, like, it's interesting because like the temperance relationships, I keep on hearing they don't feel the need to potentially over talk about things, is what I keep on seeing. They're navigating the space by which they're working through the experience of another person's healing journey. And I keep on getting what's difficult about that is for a lot of the energy, the ability to like I told you, they're regaling each other with the tales of what the past version of the self would have done around things. Because this is almost the energy that is able to amplify and articulate how far they've come, right? And I keep on hearing like the fact that they articulate how far they come is almost like them articulate, like they can see how far they've come by telling each other what they would have done in a past experience, but what they're not doing now. So it's a lot of that same feeling of like working through those experiences, continuing to get clarification between our Seven of Pentacles in its reversal and our Queen of Pentacles in its reversal. We've got the Four of Swords in its reversal. And so the Four of Swords in its reversal, the Four of Swords in its reversal speak to us effectively. I keep on hearing they speak to us effectively in relationality to identifying and articulating upon, I feel like there's a lot of the energy deep within Divine Union that's talking about what they will and will not do. And I keep on seeing, and I keep on getting, I feel like the conversation I keep on picking up upon is how far we go to energetically indulge another person's emotions, right? And I keep on seeing like and I keep on hearing, we should never feel the modality, and I keep on hearing, we should never feel the modality by which we are indulging each other's emotions, right? Because when we feel like we're energetically indulging each other's emotions, it feels like falsitude, right? The recognition point of being able to articulate, and this is why we do the work, right? We always do the work to make our emotions we give each other, feel like in gifts instead of energetic indulgences. Why? Because when we are able to amplify or articulate upon something in such a way, right? When we are able to effectively, able to work through things in that way, it allows the context by which we give each other the gift of our emotions. But when we are not in the space of doing the work about our emotions, right? When we don't rationalize whether we should have those emotions, then we ask others to indulge upon our emotions, right? And this is the difference, right? Like this is the difference that we often experience between the relationships that feel energetically productive versus like the space by which we're energetically trying to resolve or work through something. And so everything I keep on seeing in relationality to something of that nature, I keep on getting the same message that's coming through in a lot of these relationships. And a lot of those relationships is potentially working. And this is why we often go through those maturation journeys and it hurts, right? Because if these are energies that have gone through a massive positive transformation, but it feels like somebody's not experiencing it from a point of rumination, I keep on seeing like the ability to be able to talk about it, right? The ability to be able to kind of put words to it usually helps us have a productive conversation. So I keep on getting that like the energy recognizing and finding themselves in that modality, like being very, very conscientious of the fact that they are at that point, and then navigating, I keep wondering, like navigating another person's energetic resistance point in having a conversation that would feel energetically productive. I keep on getting that for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's like working, I keep wondering, it's like working through the internal volatility of experiencing that, right? Potentially even like going through like the experiences of anger or frustration that rise up, but then not letting a lot of that anger or frustration coming up to get the energetic better of the self. So I feel like it's a lot of that, like, you know, I want to say energy like this has a tendency of stirring up feelings. But I keep on hearing like the nice thing about stirring up feelings is when feelings are stirred up, sometimes they can be energetically resolved, is what I keep on getting. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Wands in its upright and our King of Swords in its reversal. One card to clarify. We've got the Knight of Pentacles in its upright. So the Knight of Pentacles in its upright, Like the Knight of Pentacles in its upright, like talking towards those, like back into the energy and separation, in solitude. Like the thing I keep on seeing, like the thing I keep on seeing with like a lot of those relationships is they're giving, I keep on hearing they're giving each other the gift of time, is what I keep on getting. And the reason I keep on getting the fact that they're giving each other the gift of time is because I just keep on getting these, and like these relationships are effectively like, I need to describe this. Like they are I keep on hearing like they're looking, they want, I keep on getting, they want passion, but they don't want projection, is what I keep on hearing. They want passion, but they don't want projection. And what is the difference between passion and projection? I'm going to get another card to clarify. King of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Four of Swords in its upright. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. We got Knight of Pentacles with Page of Pentacles. Passion without projection is effectively that, and I need to stress this. Passion without projection is the space by which we are able to articulate and identify how we feel, to be able to articulate the importance on why we feel it, right? The two parts made whole, right? How we feel, right? This is how I feel. This is why it's important that we feel it, right? Because when we're able to unify the space by which we have feelings, but then we're also to convey the import as to why those feelings are important, we often we're able to understand where our purpose exists, is what I keep on seeing. And so for a lot of the energy, the ability to articulate, and I keep on seeing, like, this is what I meant about those relationships that are coming together right now. It's like I keep on seeing that it's almost the energy that's saying to themselves, like their prioritization point is on counterpart, but they want a counterpart that has the same point of consideration for them, is what I keep on hearing. Like the ability, I keep on hearing the gift of walking into a room and knowing who has your back, regardless of whether you're in the room or not, is what I keep on seeing, right? It's the observation or the understanding of what it feels like. I keep on hearing I keep on hearing and I keep on hearing it's not even like it's a condition, like it's the condition by which we understand like the import of how we energetically care about one another. And I keep on seeing like the shape of that is like everything I keep on identifying in relationality to that is like I keep on like, and it's beautiful too, right? Because I love the fact that we see these two energies in this modality, because it effectively, I keep on getting it amplifies, I keep on getting it amplifies upon the significance of them potentially articulating to each other like how much it means. I keep on hearing like how much it means to be able to, like I keep on seeing, not just be authentic with one another, which is what we saw with the magician partnerships, not just being able to be energetically strong for one another, right, which is what we see in the temperance relationships, but also the ability to learn from one another, right? Like those modalities or those experiences by which they're able to energetically impart things to each other. I keep on getting there's something really reciprocal about that, because the reciprocity that we see that is evolving or occurring in those relationships is, I keep on hearing, and I keep on hearing the same message. We don't have to believe the same, we don't have to believe the same exact things to be respective of what we energetically hold dear, right? It doesn't require us to have to be lockstep. It requires us to be energetically respectful, right? And the respect, I keep on getting, when we are energetically respective, right, it is the observation of understanding that there is more to learn outside and beyond the self. And it doesn't mean, I keep on hearing, it doesn't mean, and this is also what I keep on hearing, like this is what it means to have sanctuary. Sanctuary only exists in the space by which we're working hard to resolve what it is that we're holding, because the ability to understand and identify like respective and respect are often different things, right? that often, I ever notice that somebody demanding respect is often not respective in terms of giving it, whereas those that are respective, like respectiveness is what we should work towards, because it's not about respect, it's about respectiveness, which is this respectiveness is connected to receptiveness. So when we are receptive, right, and we recognize that it's an honor to carry things, we become receptive. It is the receptal, it is the respective respect that is about not just being able to articulate and convey something, but also being able to navigate and carry things for others as well, right? So there's a lot of, I feel like it's interesting because these are incredibly receptive relationships that are occurring in these modalities and experiences. Final card for today, Knight of Pentacles in combination with our Page of Pentacles, and it's upright. Can I get one card to clarify? We've got the Six of Pentacles. We've got the Six of Pentacles in its reversal. So the Six of Pentacles, how do I keep on seeing this? The Six of Pentacles in its reversal is effectively working through, I keep on hearing, it's like it's working through the recognition point I keep wondering, it's working through the recognition point in relationality to, effectively, I keep on getting this, like, not getting up, don't get upset right now in relationality to the fact that something isn't energetically working. You know, like the thing about it, I keep on seeing, especially with like Six of Pentacles in its reversal, like there's a lot, I keep on getting, there's a lot of this type of energy that we identify and recognize right now. And a lot of that feeling that we effectively see can often be the modality or the experience by which we understand and we identify what it means. And I keep on hearing, this is why we talk about that we don't, like the ability to effectively identify and articulate upon our energetic feelings. It's not just, I keep wondering, it's not just the modality by which we are effectively identifying and recognizing like what it is that we're energetically working towards, but it's also the space by which I keep on seeing it's having, I keep on hearing, it's like, it's hard because it's also having to navigate the energetic demands of others, right? I keep on hearing the world is a demanding place. And often, like I keep on hearing, it's often the counterpoint that the more effective we are, the more demanding it becomes, right? Like, you know, like that's like that's what's hard about it, right? You become energetically effective, and you imagine like effectiveness increases the energetic demand for more effectiveness. And so I feel like what's hard about that, and this is why this world can often be really difficult for those that are very empathic, because it's the space by which we understand that we navigate. I keep on hearing we navigate the demands like with a space of courtesy, right? With the space by which we are effectively able to articulate and amplify or navigate, like work through those things. So I feel like the one thing I want to articulate, like in energy like this, is it's very easy to be too hard on the self. Okay? Don't get too hard on the self right now. If you're working through modalities or experiences by which you feel, like I keep on hearing, like by which you feel misperceived, like allow that misperception to navigate you towards energy that's more in alignment towards you, right? Because I feel like the modality by which we navigate others' misperceptions is often the space by which we don't let it, like I keep on hearing, we don't let it energetically affect us. Because you ever notice that? Someone misperceives you, and then they project something on you. And then what happens? You energetically become that, right? It's like, and that's why we don't match energy. So if you're feeling like that right now, if you're working through the shape of another's misperceptions, hold yourself with compassion, but remember who you are. Remind yourself of your purpose. And if someone is intentionally, if someone is intentionally driven towards not perceiving you properly, remember that is literally the shape of their projection. There's nothing you can do when somebody is invested in misperceiving you. But sometimes the observation that they are can go a long way in terms of helping you be more energetically effective. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, we've got Queen of Swords and it's reversal. I mean, and it's upright. I keep on doing that today, but that's what I mean too. But in a way, because, right, because it's in the bottom of the deck, like that is effectively what we articulate, or what we recognize here. And I want to stress this. I feel like the thing I keep on getting whenever I see a Queen of Swords in its reverse and in like bottom of the deck, it often talks about the misunderstanding on what it means to protect something. If you tell me you're protecting something and you're limiting that thing, you're not protecting it, you're coveting it. I'm going to say it again. If you tell me that you're protecting something, but something about the way you are protecting it is limiting it, you are not protecting anything. You are coveting it. Okay? And those who try to covet will often articulate upon the fact that they're energetically protecting something. But if you are protecting something and you are limiting its possibilities, then that is not protecting. It is coveting, right? So make sure, and I feel like that's a lot of the work there, the identification of the shape by which we have to work through. And so I feel like that is a conversation that's happening across all of the frequencies, right? The difference, right? The egoic journey by which someone says, oh, I'm doing something to protect you. But if another person is not energetically consensual to that protection, nor are they in the space by which they energetically asked for it, and if it effectively limits them, that is not protective. That is energetically coveting. We protect things by being protective of them. We be energetically protective of things. We're energetically conscientious and cautious in order to kind of create something that feels like it is energetically positive and productive. So make sure that you're energetically doing that work. And again, often, right, it's often those modalities or experiences by which we feel very energetically fragile in relationality to the things that we feel vulnerable upon. But that's again, right? That is also the shape of our love, right? The space by which we articulate upon the way that we're trying to be protective in the best way possible, which is navigating or amplifying the gift of effectively understanding that love is the shape of honoring each other's choices. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Sun card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, December 18th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Judgment card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to as paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. It's not necessary to catch up. I'll do my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that class, but it's a great time to join if you want to learn more about those classes or take a few of those classes before our next class. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you'll also receive a complimentary you also have a discount on the whole. You'll also have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive, and you'll also have access to a one-on-one mentorship class with me where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly news, my Mystic Meditation articles there, which will give you an update on everything we've been studying. What we've been seeing energetically in the cards in a bi-monthly article cycle following the lunation cycle. I also want to invite you guys to a very special retreat that we're having this August to explore the tarot. We will be journeying to Italy, the birthplace of, or the cradle by which the tarot was discovered, to understand and work through the mytho-symbolic images that we find in the cards and to learn more about them and the place by which they found a home. You can find more about that as well on my stack. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also for my students seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which can be purchased per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal to utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.